What's up, everybody? My name's Chance, and today we're going to be taking a look at an Orzhov Knights deck. Possibly. There it is. An Orzhov Knights deck, coyly named Good Night. I thought that was a good name for it. Anyways, the whole reason for this is I recently picked up 2 copies of Knight's Charge. How fantastic, am I right? Yeah, I don't know how I never got this card, you know, or like how it slipped through the cracks, but it is fantastic. It is wonderful, and that 8 mana payoff is something that I have been looking forward to trying for so long, right? You pay 8 mana, sacrifice Knight's Charge, return all Knight creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. And you say, okay, well, Chance, that could just be a complete whiff, you know? Your opponent could then just turn around and destroy them all before you get to do anything. But then I look at this card and I'm like, oh, well, imagine, right? Imagine a world where you're playing your Corpse Knights and your opponent just keeps removing all your early stuff. And you're like, you know what? I'm through. I'm done with this. But then you think back and you say, well, there's also this card, right? To where you can just spawn up a whole bunch of knights whenever you cast other knights. So early on, the idea is to gain a whole bunch of damage up against your opponent with the Worthy Knight and Corpse Knight combo. You know, swinging in just by having higher value or by trading out creatures and dealing in that early damage. And then come late game, if you do get the Knight's Charge, at least you'll have those Corpse Knights to bring back and finish your opponent off. Because think about it, you bring back 2 or 3 Corpse Knights, that's 3 damage for every creature that just re-entered the battlefield, right? And then, you know, 2 respectively to all the Corpse Knights. But still, it's such a fantastic card, right? The dream is so real for me to do this combo. And it was pretty much the whole reason for playing this playing these knights today. Sorry, night and day. This is going to get a bit confusing in this deck tech or deck breakdown, but just bear with me. Now, before we go and hop into each individual card and all that good stuff, I would like to remind everybody, if you enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like down below and a comment in the comment section if you have any suggestions on this video, future videos, or past videos. Furthermore, if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button and then the bell notification that pops out to the right of it, right? And then that'll give you notifications on when I go live and when I post videos and when I post posts about not going live or doing videos or whatever, you know, just general stuff. So yeah, all that good stuff, all that sellout. Now on into what we are actually playing here today. We have 2 copies of Venerable Knight, 4 copies of Knight of the Ebon Legion. These are going to make up our 1-drops. Knight of the Ebon Legion, obvious reasons, it's one of the strongest 1-drops in the game by far. It has this ability to turn into a 4/5 magically, right? You pay 3 mana, it turns into a 4/5. And then furthermore, it reads, at the beginning of your end step, if a player lost 4 or more life, right? If a player, not just your opponent, if you lost 4 or more life as well. And there's some different ways you can do that, but if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Knight of the Ebon Legion. Fantastic, am I right? Now, since it is your turn, it's a little bit harder to deal damage to yourself, but with things like Midnight Reaper, with Murderous Rider, right, it's a little bit easier, it's a little bit more realistic. So, Knight of the Ebon Legion, just a strong 1 mana drop card. Venerable Knight, really good at just swinging in for early damage, even buffing the Knight of the Ebon Legion, right? Because it's 2 damage, and most people won't want to trade 2 to, like, you know, 2 to 1 on Venerable Knight, or 1 to 1 on Venerable Knight even. Blacklance Paragon, going to be helping your creatures, you know, get lifelink and death touch. Worthy Knight, we already touched on. We're going to be creating a whole bunch of knights, right? Smitten Swordmaster is actually really key in this deck because we're playing so many knights. It's able to actually proc your Knight of the Ebon Legion, right? You're able to deal that 4 damage with your Smitten Swordmaster relatively frequently. That sounds a bit jumbled. You know, semi-often. Anyways, Corpse Knight we've already talked about. Wintermoor Commander is really just a splash of something that I kind of enjoy. It's a 2/0 card that reads its toughness is equal to the number of knights you control. So whenever it's down by itself, it's just a 2/1 with death touch. But for the most part, you'll be having other knights down as well. So 2/2, 2/3, 2/4, whatever. And then it reads, whenever Wintermoor Commander attacks, another target knight you control gains indestructible until end of turn, which I really enjoy personally. Again, it's a splash of my life. Make this knight's deck your own. Just remember, you gotta have Knight's Charge, you gotta have Corpse Knight, because that is the dream, right? Moving us down, we have 2 copies of Midnight Reaper to help us gain some card draw off the Doom Foretold things that we sacrifice, as well as in general, right? When our creatures get removed, Midnight Reaper is going to be gaining us some card draw. Sure, dealing in some damage. I feel like we have enough life gain in the way of Murderous Rider and Cavalier of Night and the Blacklance Paragon Flash that we should be A to the OK. Which brings me down to Murderous Rider, right? Some good solid removal, as well as it being a night card just makes it all inclusively fantastic. Knight's Charge, we've already talked about it pretty much. Whenever a knight you control attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. You know, yeah, cool, whatever. But we're all looking at the 8 mana thing, really. That's what's going on here. Doom Foretold, I just felt like it fit into the deck thematically, and it sort of works because you have these lower knights that you don't really mind sacrificing out, like the Venerable Knight, like the Smitten Swordmaster, like the Blacklance Paragon even, you know? Wintermoor Commander, I certainly wouldn't mind sacrificing out. And then it really puts your opponent in a hard little wedge, right? Then we have 3 copies of Cavalier of Night, another knight, obviously, lifelink, and it has the ability to remove stuff from your opponent's side of the board as well as put stuff back on your side of the board. So, you know, pretty fantastic all in all. We should all know that card pretty well. Syr Konrad has been making his rounds a lot here recently in MTG Arena. So I figured, yeah, let's do another Syr Konrad, you know. Now, this card is fantastic in combination with the Corpse Knights, in combination with the Midnight Reaper, and, you know, just in general with this deck. Gonna deal damage whenever things enter your battlefield, as well as when things leave the battlefield. Leave the battlefield, as well as whenever they leave the graveyard. There we go. Say it right. I was like, I'm trying to say a sentence here, and it feels like it's very confusing. Anyways, so whenever things leave your battlefield or leave your graveyard, so it is going to proc with the Knight's Charge. So you can imagine you get back 2 Corpse Knights and a Knight's Charge and a Syr Konrad, you know. The damage is just so multiplicative, additive. I think it's additive. The Circle of Loyalty, finally, we're here down to the bottom. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each knight you control. And the interesting thing about this is, since we're playing knights, it can realistically end up costing us 2 mana, which is very cheap for this card, right? Because it reads, creatures you control get +1/+1. All creatures across the board. Your little 1/1 humans you create with Worthy Knight are going to turn into 2/2s, which is just fantastic. You know, go to the Ballerina show or something. Get it? 2/2s. Anyways, furthermore, it reads, whenever you cast a legendary spell, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. Now, we have Syr Konrad, past that. Yeah, that's it. Let's say we have Syr Konrad, you know. We have 1 proc of that. But the nice thing about the Circle of Loyalty, yes, it gives +1/+1 to all your creatures. But in those control matchups, when they board wipe you, right, they say, oh yeah, you got a bunch of knights. Yeah, that seems nice. Wipe. Okay, what you're going to do is you're just going to pay the mana. You're going to create a 3/3 knight creature token with vigilance, right? Because the Circle of Loyalty is going to give it +1/+1. And I'm assuming you're a bit into late game. Maybe you're in mid game. Even still, you're going to be able to create 3/3s, you know, every single turn that have vigilance, that keep swinging in, that are able to defend. And so it really helps you out in those matchups. And then for our mana, I don't have all the copies of Temple of Silence. Otherwise, I would be playing 0 copies of Scoured Barrens and 4 copies of Temple of Silence. And a lot of people always ask me, why don't you play Castle Locthwain? Why don't you play this? Why don't you play that? Here's my thing. I don't play safely with Castle Locthwain, okay? I just don't. I use it way too often, and I kill myself way too often. So as a player, it's not better for me. And Castle Ardenvale doesn't really fit thematically, okay? I have 1 copy. I'd rather have my lands look nice, clean, and even, if that makes sense, than just throw in 1 copy just to throw in 1 copy for the sake of it might just maybe turn out to be the right thing. That makes sense? So yes, in all actuality, play the Castle Ardenvale, okay? In all actuality, play the Castle Locthwains. Do the math, whatever. Me personally, I prefer to keep my lands uncluttered and prefer to focus on what I'm doing here rather than just simply winning by side strategies, right? So, for everyone wondering, that is why. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop into our matches. I don't know. I like the cards. I don't like the mana. Sure. I guess we'll throw a Syr Konrad back, although I really do enjoy that card with Corpse Knight, I'm not gonna lie. Tell you what, I'm gonna go with the turn 1 Knight of the Ebon Legion, turn 2 Corpse Knight. We shall see how it plays. Our opponent's playing Jund. Ooh. Okay. I think this is still the answer. Jund, what is, I mean, dinos, right? Jund dinos, that's the thing. Also, I feel like I'm sitting kind of low. Where am I? No, it's about normal. Ah, Cauldron Familiar, right, Jund, sacrifice. Alright. Well, let's go Worthy Knight into Scoured Barrens. And we will swing all in because they just have a silly little goose and a Cauldron Familiar to block. And they don't block with the kitty cat. Sounds good to me. 2 damage is 2 damage, you know what I mean? Let's see, let's see. Beanstalk Giant. Alright. Still no Mayhem Devil. So, happy chance. We could swing in with the Knight of the Ebon Legion. We can swing in with everything, actually. Yeah, let's do that. Let's press our attack first. Because no matter what we play, it's not gonna really matter. We only have to deal 4 for this to proc, yeah? Indeed. Alright, and then we'll get down to Midnight Reaper. And that'll double proc the Corpse Knight. And then the Knight will get the buff. Alright, fantastic. Now, even if they play a Mayhem Devil and they take out 1 creature, we kind of have a pretty set board, so I'm not too worried about it. Beanstalk Giant can get removed with Murderous Rider as well. Corvold. Alright, you know, equally so. I do enjoy Corvold. I wish I had some copies, but alas. No copies here. Knight's Charge, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. But obviously we're playing the Murderous Rider. Go ahead and take out the Corvold as well, that way it can't even block something, you know, no chum blocking here. Not today, not now, not ever. Of course, this does mean on their next turn they can play a mana if they have it and get down the Beanstalk Giant. They are down to 4, which means as long as we play our Knight's Charge on our next turn and swing all in, we should have lethal. We have 4 Knights, they have 4 health. Of course, Cauldron Familiar coming back would be a kink in that plan, which is oven. Well, I said it, so I jinxed it. Shit. But in the same manner, they don't have the Beanstalk Giant down yet, so this should be enough to finish our opponent off. We'll see what they have. Instant speed. Murderous Rider, there it is. Alright, so we'll get to draw a card at the very least. And that does -2 health from them, so I don't know if that was necessarily worth it. We shall see, though. Also, just while we're trying to tick up the most damage, this is actually lethal for us. Drawing that card, fantastic, because we just get down the Murderous Rider, procs the Worthy Knight, 1 damage from Corpse Knight, 2 damage. Now, they could have done the Cauldron Familiar, but of course we swing in after that and then have enough damage from the Knight's Charge. So, there we go. Game 1, fantastic. Gage? I don't know. Y'all know how I am. I'm terrible with pronunciations, so I get to go first. Sure, I'll keep it. I like Knight's Charge. I like Corpse Knight. Honestly, it was my whole like reason for building this. I want to pay the 8 mana on Knight's Charge, eventually at some point sacrifice it and bring back like 2 or 3 Corpse Knights plus a whole slew of other knights and just kill my opponent that way. I've had that dream since I was but a young little boy. Alright, we're gonna go Worthy Knight first here and then Corpse Knight. And reason being, we can create more units. Either which way, you don't get to proc this combo until you have them both down anyways, if that makes sense. So, losing 1 damage off of not playing Corpse Knight first, but I think we go ahead and play this because it's when you cast a spell. So even if they have something like an Unsummon or a Brazen Borrower, as long as we cast this first, we can go ahead and get that 1/1 off. And then of course we'll all attack. Now they may have 2 Flash Flyers or a Fairy Duelist. That'll do it as well. Won't kill my Worthy Knight, thankfully, but will reduce it to 0. And we'll get down to Fabled Passage. What are we looking for here? Some black mana. Give me a swamp. Murderous Rider, Murderous Rider. Or do we go for the Knight's Charge, since they do only have a Fairy Duelist? But in the same regard, if they have another Fairy Duelist, then, you know, kind of yikes. Tell you what, we'll go ahead and get down the Knight's Charge. I don't know if we'll swing in, though. Deny the Divine. Oh, man. Alright, so we'll swing in with these 2 then. That should be fine. Fairy Duelist. Can't really stand up against them. We'll get in for the 4 damage. Can't believe you just countered my... Oh, it exiles. Can't believe you just countered my Knight's Charge. Just like that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little wary to play a Cavalier or a Syr Konrad. I tell you what, I'd rather a Cavalier Knight get countered, honestly. Syr Konrad, he's just so beautiful. Such a beautiful creature with everything that we're trying to do here. Thought Collapse. There it is. There it is. Alright, so swing, swing. They're still down to 11 health, so it's not like we're not doing anything. It's just a lot of what we're doing is getting stopped. It's getting canceled. Alright, so I could go for the Corpse Knight and Murderous Rider play, or I could just go for the Syr Konrad. Tell you what, I'm going to go for the Corpse Knight because I think this will be enough to make them want to counter something, you know? It's pretty good. Getting another Corpse Knight down. Oh my goodness. It happened. Things are happening. Alright, well, I don't see any real reason to murder their Fairy Duelist. Sure, the other 2 little 1/1s could get in for damage, but I'd rather wait. Yeah, for something more along those lines. Hey, looky here. Let's take that thing out. No, sirree. You may have counter spells, but I have removal. Alright, they're going to start blocking now because they said, you know what, 2 Corpse Knights, you're gaining a little fast there. Alright, so now every time a creature comes into play, we're going to be dealing 2 damage. So Syr Konrad will actually make that deal 4 damage. Right? Worthy Knight plus the 2 Corpse Knights. How fantastic. Let's see if we can hit it. They do have two mana. Do they have the Quench? Bum bum bum. No. Fantastic. They're down to 3 health. They don't have enough creatures. This is an all-in kind of swing. Alright, what do you do, Gage? Gage? I don't know. Radical idea for 1, and then a Singer. Well, that still only blocks 2 creatures. You're gonna need more than that blocked, unfortunately. Yep. So coming right up at lethal, right? Yeah. Okay. It wasn't showing the damage, like they hit, but it wasn't showing pink 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 on the opponent's health bar. Nonetheless, we're gonna go 2-0. Phoenix. Not Phoenix, but Phoenix. Rocking the Teferi avatar. I'm not gonna lie. You don't scare me. I see what you're trying to do with the avatar. It's not working. Okay, it might be working a little bit. We're gonna keep this hand. I like the possibilities of it. I can't promise everyone that it'll turn out for the best, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try. I love the Knight cards, honestly. The Circle of Loyalty and all that kind of stuff. I'm really digging it. All right, what do you got for me? The Birth of Melittus. More than likely an Esper deck. Maybe just Azorius, but more than likely Esper. That's what my gut's telling me. Now we could double Smitten Swordmaster here just to deal a cheeky 2 damage, but it's not actually going to be enough, right? We're just going to play one down. I was contemplating just playing the Temple of Silence and just running one Smitten Swordmaster out, but I do want to go ahead and get one down. Alright, opponent's up to 3 mana, and they Teferi. Who are you bouncing? Bouncing the Knight, bouncing the Smitten. What's happening? Knight's cheaper for me to get back down. Okay, they're bouncing the Knight. Tell you what, I am going to play the Temple of Silence out here. Another Knight of the Ebon Legion. Yeah, I actually don't mind that, and here's why. We have a bunch of these little cheap knights. Our Circle of Loyalty is going to end up costing just 2. I am going to swing in because it's 2 life gain, and you know what they say, a life gained is a life saved. Oh no, it's a penny gained is a penny saved. It's a joke, everybody. Ha ha ha. I know my jokes aren't very good, but you also have to remember I'm playing a card game. I'm sitting in a room all by myself, so grasping at straws here for entertainment, really. It's a job not only to entertain y'all, but to entertain myself for you know, half an hour, however long these videos end up going for. I really want to get down the Circle of Loyalty. I really do. I'm going to play the Knight of the Ebon Legion first to make sure that the waters are clear. I think they're clear. There's the Circle of Loyalty. And we will go ahead and play the Curry favor from the Smitten Swordmaster just to deal a little bit extra, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And I'm actually going to swing... I really want this Teferi gone, I'm not even going to lie. But I'm going to swing just two at it. And we'll try to hope and see if they don't have another creature that they can flash in. I'm going to assume not, since they didn't even make an attempt at defending Teferi. Alright, so now the Ebon Legions are going to be gaining us, or are going to be gaining counters, are going to be gaining us. Are going to be gaining counters because we gain life with the Smitten Swordmaster, or rather dealt damage with the Smitten Swordmaster. That's alright. Phoenix is going to be getting down their Narset. So I can't quite tell if it's Esper or just Azorius. I mean, so far it's just Azorius, but you know, they have the Interplanar Beacon, so shuffling in something, and Golden Egg, yeah. Shuffling in something like a Liliana is certainly possible. You know, if it's Popsicle, it's usually possible. That's the way it goes. So we're gonna get down to Syr Konrad, which is gonna spawn up a Knight thanks to the Circle of Loyalty fanciness. We're actually just gonna swing all in. I think the Narset, sure, it's a problem, but we're dealing with control here. We don't want to let them get out of control, rather. So let's go all in. Let's go for the face. Boom, boom, boom. We'll put another counter on our Knights, as well as put us up to 32 health. So do they have the Shatter the Sky, right? Do they have the Time Wipe? That's the cards that they're looking for here. If not, they might be in trouble. They very well might be in trouble. We got a solid board of Knights. There's a Teferi. If they play Teferi, I think we're fine. Elspeth Conquers Death. That's going to be getting rid of Syr Konrad? Or the Circle? Really, Syr Konrad? You value that more over a card that gives all of my Knight creatures +1/+1. No, all creatures in general +1/+1. That's crazy. That's actually insane. Don't get me wrong, Syr Konrad's a good card. But at the same time, I'm still getting in for the 9. I don't know. Maybe that was the right decision. Either way, now the Ebon Legions are getting mighty big, mighty large. Even if they do board wipe us, we still have a way of getting more creatures down thanks to the Circle of Loyalty. It would be a board wipe plus bouncing the Circle of Loyalty or getting rid of that, right? So here comes a Narset. They still have the 4 mana available for Shadow of the Sky if they can hit it here off the Narset. Shall we see if we get cleared? Bum bum bum. This is for all the marbles for 3-0. It's a golden egg. I think that's gonna result in a scoop. What do y'all say? 3, 2, 1. Okay, my timing's off. Y'all know that. Timing's always off. Maybe they already have Shadow of the Sky. Good game, good game. Maybe they don't have Shadow of the Sky. I'm so very confused. Okay, there it is. I was just a little delayed. So 3-0 with our Knights deck, and I finally got to do it. I finally got to play some good old-fashioned Knights and just have fun. That is great. Alright, so thanks everybody for watching. That is going to do it for our matches. They were insanely fast, but insanely fun, and gotta say, I really enjoy revisiting our Knights and our humans. I'm so excited for the humans for my Coria to add to this, to benefit from this, rather. I don't know, whichever way you want to think about it. I'm excited to see them, excited to play with all of them. And yes, the beasts are going to be fun, the mutate's going to be fun, all of that good stuff. But, you know, I'm excited for all the smaller things in the set as well. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to leave a like down below and a comment in the comment section if you have any suggestions on this video, future videos, or past videos. Furthermore, if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button and then the bell notification. I don't know why they turned it into a 2-part process, but, you know, do those 2 things, then you'll get updates on when I go live, when I post posts, and when I post videos, which I try not to spam or do any of that nonsense. So, yeah, once again, thanks everybody, and remember, Wednesday we're doing our 12-hour live stream from, what is it, 10? Did I say 10 or 12 or 11? I can't quite remember. From some time, I think it's 10 to 11, and then to 10 to 11. So that's going to be Eastern Standard Time. Remember, if you get a chance, come out. It's pretty much all for you guys and girls anyways. Thank y'all so much for 5K, and yeah, that's it. Peace.